There's this power that scripture just assumes we're all using, but honestly, most of us never even touch it. It's not some hidden secret. In fact, it feels so ordinary, so normal, that we completely overlook its incredible power. And it might just be the key to understanding why so many of us can feel so sincere in our faith, yet so completely and utterly stuck. I mean, does this sound familiar to you at all? You're praying for a change, you're asking for that breakthrough, you wait, and it just feels like nothing is shifting. You've got the sincerity down, you have the faith, but the same old patterns in your life just keep repeating. What if there's a crucial piece of this puzzle that we've been missing all along? Okay, now you really got to pay attention to the language here. This isn't just some poetic suggestion. It's actually framed like a legal declaration. When God says, "I call heaven and earth as witnesses," well, that's the kind of language you use to assign responsibility. This one idea is the bedrock for everything we're about to unpack. And did you catch that? It says, "I have set before you." That's past tense. What that means is that life and death, blessing and cursing, these aren't things God is still mulling over. The options are already on the table. They've already been released. The only thing left undecided in this whole equation is our participation. Okay, so this brings us right to the core of this whole thing. We have to completely reframe how we think about the word choice, because it's not about what you prefer, it's about what you permit. It's about power. See, most of us, we think of choice as just, a simple preference, like picking what you want for dinner based on how you feel. But the scriptural view presents choice as something way, way more powerful. It's an act of authority. It is a tool for governing your life. And think about it, right from the very beginning, humanity was given dominion. But this isn't about controlling other people or forcing things to happen externally. It's the authority to decide the direction of your world, your inner world. It's your right, your job to govern what happens inside of you. And this, right here, is where it all clicks into place. Just think about these commands. Things like, set your mind, or guard your heart. They'd only make sense if we actually have the capacity to do them, right? God never gives you a responsibility without first giving you the ability to handle it. Every single one of these instructions is basically a confirmation of a power you already have. So here's the absolute game-changing point. If you feel out of control, like you're just being tossed around by your emotions or your thoughts or your circumstances, the problem isn't that you're powerless. Not at all. The issue is that you're just untrained in using the power you already possess. And you know what? This is why it's so incredibly tricky. These untrained defaults, reacting in fear, defaulting to anxiety, playing out worst-case scenarios in your head, they don't feel like chains we need to break. They just feel normal. They feel like our personality. So we stay stuck and we call it being mature. We stay in bondage and call it just who I am. Okay, so if we're untrained, how in the world do we start training? Let's get super practical. All of these ideas really boil down to 4 clear, actionable steps you can take to start exercising this inner authority and actually governing your inner world. All right, here they are. We're going to walk through each one of these. Choose before you feel, set your mind, guard your heart, and take thoughts captive. Think of this as your new training regimen. All right, step 1. This one is a total game changer. Most of us, we treat our emotions like they're signals we have to obey. If I feel anxious, my brain screams, I must be in danger. But Scripture treats our emotions as conditions that we are meant to govern. God says, choose life, not feel your way into life. The choice always comes first. This doesn't mean you deny the feeling, it just means you assign it a lower rank. You're the boss, not your emotions. Step 2 is to set your mind. Look, if choice establishes your authority, then your focus establishes your direction. Think of it like this. A mind that isn't set is like a boat without a rudder. It's just going to drift, and it's always going to drift toward whatever is putting the most pressure on it, which is usually stress, fear, or just plain old distraction. Setting your mind means you decide ahead of time what gets to have your mental real estate. Let's dive into step 3, which is built on this really profound verse from Proverbs. Now, notice the direction of the flow here. The issues of life, the outcomes, the directions, the good and the bad, they don't just happen to your heart. They flow from it. So, get this. Your heart is not just some passive container that life dumps stuff into. No way. It's an active source. It's a spring. So, guarding your heart isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about being a gatekeeper. You get to decide what's allowed to circulate on the inside, because whatever you allow to circulate long enough is eventually going to flow out and become your reality. And finally, step 4, take your thoughts captive. And I love this distinction. Think of your thoughts as just visitors. They are not authorities. They knock on the door, they make suggestions, but they only get any power over you if you agree with them and let them in. You have the authority to stop them right at the door and ask, wait a minute, are you true? Before you ever let them inside. So, as we start to bring this all together, the big picture here is really a journey. It's a movement away from a life that's just run on unconscious defaults and toward a life that's lived with deliberate, conscious intention. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. The next huge breakthrough you're searching for? It's probably not some new opportunity out there. It's the establishment of a new government inside of you. The moment you learn to govern yourself, your entire world starts to shift. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to really think about. A question that honestly really matters. Take an honest look at your inner world. Your thoughts, your fears, those automatic reactions. What are you currently allowing to run your life that you are actually given the authority to rule? Because the moment you realize you were never powerless, well, that's when everything changes.